Chef Reggie Miller has been working in restaurant kitchens in the Low Country and beyond for many years. Now he's transitioned into a private chef. I talked one-on-one with him about his new chapter for this edition of Quintin's Close-Ups. And if you haven't already, subscribe to my YouTube channel and like Quintin's Close-Ups on Facebook. Chef Reggie Miller, welcome to Quintin's Close-Ups.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, you're very welcome. You know, you are the owner and obviously the chef of Miller Cuisine, which is essentially a food delivery service, private chef, obviously, and catering.
Yes.
Tell me, who is Chef Reggie Miller these days besides all of that?
I'm pretty much just a very much down-to-earth person. I'm very heavily involved in like farm to table. I care a lot about animals in the earth. Sustainability is one of my biggest things. But other than that, other than cooking, I'm kind of just a person that's love to read, listen to music, and just relax.
And you talk about obviously farm to table, chef. What are those farm to table items that are actually ideal for your business right now?
I say almost any and everything. I'm not very picky about certain ingredients. I love using every single one. I'm just it's all about how is the farmer taking care of the animal or the vegetable. Just some people don't believe that if you don't put a lot of care into your vegetables, it still grow for sure, but it's not really going to taste that good. It's going to be mediocre. If the farmers are really taking care of it, showing love just to gardening and taking care of the farm, it'd be some of the best ingredients you have. A basic carrot can taste mediocre you get from the grocery store, but you get it from a true farmer, it's a whole another level.
Wow. And so what are the biggest difference versus getting from the store versus getting it from the farmers?
The main thing is you're getting directly from the source. With a lot of issues that's going on right now, people saying that people putting stuff in their food, things like that, instead of worrying about what's in your food, go directly to the source and talk to them about it. One big thing that grocery store do is they actually pick whatever the vegetables or fruit is before it is actually ripe.
Wow.
So you don't never taste a true carrot. You taste a carrot that's young.
Wow.
And when you go to farmers markets, it's multiple around Charleston, and you can go at least once a week.
That's right.
And taste a true carrot. It's completely different. Even with just animals.
Oh yes.
I prefer a farmer that takes care of them. They don't look at their animal as just money.
Right.
When you go to the grocery store, you don't really know where that product comes from. They can say it comes from one thing, but with a lot of people that just more focus on money, it can be coming from a big farm that's not really properly, free ranging their chickens or letting their cow graze their land. That's where when you go to these, beef farms, pig farms, anything like that, they can talk about you from the egg being born to, they come on your dinner plate.
Yes.
And that's what I feel like give that, security of, hey, not just people just trying to poison you or anything like that. You can really understand, and at that you can appreciate that even more. And you just thinking of that as just a chicken that you got from the grocery store. It's like, oh, this is a real thing that was taken care of from start to finish.
Wow. So I'm being redundant here, chef, but what is the state of sustainability?
I feel like it's became a trend. That some people will just say, oh, it's sustainable or it's locally sourced, but it's really not. It's becoming a problem just with the earth in general. Because it's like, why would you get your chicken from a farm in, let's say, New York, and have that truck bring it from all the way there, all the way to Charleston? That's a lot of carbon footprint.
Yeah.
but slowly people actually starting to really understand.
Yeah.
What sustainability is, and I feel like it's gonna start picking up and become more than just a trend, and starting to become more of a livelihood, which is fantastic. It's lovely because you not just even sustainability even goes into you giving your money directly to the farm.
Right.
What some people think is you buy it from the store and a majority of that money is going to the farm. It's not.
Wow.
You got your middleman. You got the person that package it. You got the person that has to put it in the box and then put it on the truck. Get that truck to bring it, and then you have to pay people to break it down. All that stuff.
Yeah.
And you can just go direct to the farm. It's like you paying them directly. And to be honest with you, maybe it was a little bit more cheaper, so it's a little bit more affordable at that for way better quality. And that's where that's as that kicks up, sustainability outlook on Earth will be way better.
And when you think about sustainability, Chef, what are those other trends that you're keeping your eye on right now?
One of the big things is like with the distance of traveling, because the biggest unsustainable thing is cars.
Yeah.
So I'm paying attention now. How can I become a better person and help not have to travel so much with the car? Is there a possibility that I can even rent out a car that's electric, and try to work with that?
Yes, sir.
But yeah, it's a few of those, and then it's also about the what's can I say like what people is buying. And that goes from just beauty products to just the clothes that you're wearing. I try to pay attention to see what's the best route to go.
Wow.
Because sometimes we're going to put out, we're not always going to be sustainable in a way just because our livelihood. But if we can take that approach of looking at what I'm wearing, the type of makeup that I'm buying, you can work with that to help bring that down and just be more smarter in your decision making.
And so when it comes to food, Chef, what exactly are people buying these days?
Crab legs. That's a really big trend. It's crab legs. And I feel like it's okay getting crab legs, but it's becoming an issue a little bit. It's all about, and that plays into sustainability. The more it's a supply and demand.
Yes, sir.
So the more demand of crab legs, the more the crabs that they have to, get from the earth.
Yeah.
You gotta remember when you get your crab legs, you're just getting the legs. You're not getting the whole body.
Yeah.
So now you don't know where that body is at. Now they may just throw it in the trash. Excuse me, and they could be throwing it back in the water, which some people can say that it is sustainable because it's going back and other animals can eat from it. But it's like you're wasting the whole thing. Like, despite just the legs, it's meat also inside of crabs.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's one big thing I realized is saying crab legs. Other than that, I mean, I don't really see other people buying other things like that. That's the biggest trend.
Yeah.
Right now.
Wow.
And hopefully we can realize that and try other things other than crabs.
Yeah.
Like some people don't like blue crab. Cool. They have Dungeness crab, which is pretty good. Which is enjoy the claws, but try to get the whole thing.
Sure.
You just go out there and explore. That's the biggest thing I want people to understand.
And what else are you exploring when it comes to food?
I'm starting getting into plant-based.
Oh, yes.
Being a vegetarian, just because that's also another trend that's going up too.
Yes, sir.
And I want to be able to provide that type of service if needed. And my big thing is trying to find different substitutes that'll be fantastic for,
Sure.
the chicken, for the beef,
Sure.
or even the seafood.
Sure.
And like, I know, trying different, like more wild ingredients.
Yeah.
Which is fantastic.
Sure.
It may look a little weird from time to time, but it's very much delicious.
Wow.
Anyway.
Chef, where is the supply and demand when it comes to private dining?
More and more people are getting into it. I think the reason why, one, COVID is one of the big things why it skyrocketed over the last 2 or 3 years.
Wow.
But also, a lot of people just want to have an experience. They just want to wear their pajamas and just have a person to come cook them a very fancy dinner while they're just in their pajamas at home. And from a chef that used to be in restaurants, I used to go home at 12, 1 o'clock in the morning, and all I wanted from restaurants is like, I just wanted someone to bring me some food and just if I can chill. And I understand completely with that.
Wow.
So it is becoming more of a a thing that people like to experience, and that's wonderful. I offer multiple different services that have more affordable services. We want it really casual. That means that I just come in, I prepare your meal. You can do whatever you want throughout your day, and it's fantastic.
And what side do you lean on when it comes to private dining? Are you the more expensive chef, or are you the more inexpensive chef?
I say I try my best to be in the middle. I have like 3 different services, and each service is priced differently. One is way more expensive than the base. Something simple, casual, and I just try to be affordable for multiple people, and just try my best with that. Sometimes, even with the lowest price, some people still be like it's expensive, but that also plays into people not understanding what a private chef is.
Right. What exactly is a private chef?
It's a person that just love, preparing food for people. It's a person that wants to bring the best product possible to a client without having to go to a restaurant. And sometimes you like that experience. Go to a restaurant, people care directly to you. But sometimes people just want to sit at home, but still have healthy, and very great food. And it's very good for a big group of people. So it's also something that also helps. You may spend more at a restaurant if you're going for a group of people than get a private chef too. So it's just a person that really wants to show cooking. And that's it, Jamie. That's it.
Okay.
Very passionate.
What is the art of cooking?
A lot of people have different outlooks on it. So my outlook is pretty much, I love teaching. I learn way better while talking through with someone with something else. With understanding sustainability, and it's just all about just picking the right things. Understanding what you're doing. That's cooking is pretty much when you just mind your business talking, like it comes out naturally. And cooking is more of, yes, the ingredients plays an important part in it, but it's about the technique, understanding your technique. Once you can get the basics out the way, it's endless from there. The cooking just become, people that just do it just because, and it's a passion to some. It become a livelihood. It's all about, some shows it's all about bringing another different experience. Helping someone to learn a different technique. And once you get those, I think that's what cooking becomes.
And what techniques have you learned thus far?
Oh, a lot. I really love doing Japanese technique. It's a little bit more lighter. It's not direct heat, as they barbecue.
Oh yes.
No, but American barbecue is different from Japanese barbecue. It's you just turn the grill on high. It's the word that you have on there. But with Japanese, it's they wanna cook it slow. They can do high heat, but it's for a short period of time. And it's like that's Japanese grilling is one thing I'm learning how to get perfect, because sometimes it's the coals they use a little bit way more harder than some of the ones that we use here.
Yeah.
So it's all about indirect heat.
Yes.
And it's trying to make sure you balance those two things out.
Wow.
And then with me, I'm always learning sauce making. It's endless learning of sauces.
Yes. Wow. So you've cooked a whole lot of things over your career. So which one of those foods describes you?
I say pasta. I make everything from scratch.
Yeah.
So with pasta, it shows how much work I put into it.
Yeah.
I put a lot of work into sauces. I make all my own stocks. So I think a nice good pasta dish, a full pasta dish is like really shows my craft. Because when just starting with the dough itself, if you don't properly knead it, and if you don't properly roll it out,
right,
that can make a break.
Pasta.
So sometimes the pasta can be too tough if you roll out thin enough. If you roll out too thin, it's just gonna just shatter away.
Wow.
And you get that perfect balance of that dente bite, and with that sauce's creaminess.
Right.
Or if you have a broth, it's clean. That's where you get a lot of technique in, and that's what really shows what I can do.
Yeah, absolutely. And what else can make or break cooking?
Frustration, patience.
Yes.
It's like baking a pastry. You have to have patience to bake.
Yes.
When I first started learning to cook, I didn't have much patience. This is why at first I didn't get into baking a pastry, because I didn't have patience with trying to let everything rest. But now, as I mature as a person, but also as a chef, everything needs patience in the cooking. Even if you're cooking a sauce that can be fixed quickly.
Yeah.
Instead of trying to make it fast, just take your time. It's going to come out way better than when you're trying to quickly do it. Even with you're cooking a steak, you can serve the steak right off the stove, off the grill. But if you let that steak rest, it's going to not dry out for one, and two, it's just going to be way more better. And when you want to present a dish, you don't want the dish to be piping hot, so then the person can't eat it.
Right.
But you also don't want it to be cold.
Yeah.
So it's like you just want it to have that perfect timing of it sitting and being presented.
Wow. When do you know this was the perfect time to go into the private cuisine and dining business?
For me, when I first started it, I didn't look at the industry as when it's a good time. I just wanted to present my own food.
Yeah.
I've been cooking since I was 14.
Wow.
And been in restaurants also since I was 14. And it got to a point that one day I cooked a steak for a customer at the restaurant, and they gave the credit to the chef, and the chef wasn't even there. So to me, that was like, I don't like that. I want to be able to show that I'm cooking and then show that it's me.
Yeah.
So I just tried to transition into private chef, learn more about it. And it's just, it's a very competitive industry.
Yes.
But once you can get that word of mouth saying, yeah, he can cook, it starts to get smooth sailing after that.
Absolutely. So, what from the restaurant side have you brought to the private dining side?
Management. Cooking for a big group of people. That's the thing. If I didn't try to work in hotels, catering companies, I think that would be the hardest thing to do. Because when cooking, like 20 steaks, medium rare. All has to be at the same temperature. All has to be really hot and ready to go.
Yeah.
If I didn't have that experience, I would have struggled with doing that. And organization.
Yeah.
That's the biggest of it all. I have cooked for, I've done events that I had to cook for people for 3 days straight, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. If I wasn't organized, I would have been all over the place with all that. But yeah, it's those two things, management and then like just organization is like the biggest key.
Wow.
Of that I took away from restaurant industry, because went from like bars, which that was pretty easy to do, to fine dining.
Yes.
So I have the experience from different levels, and I understand how to appropriate add it to different parts of my business and to different parts of my services.
And you talk about cooking for a large group of people. Let's talk about your collaboration with the Gullah Geechee Angel Network, which is coming up May 27th. How did you and the Gullah Geechee Angel Network meet with this?
So I got tagged in basic posts. Someone was looking for a chef to do shrimp and grits, and I was like, hey, why not? And got in contact with them, and they wanted to do shrimp and grits, but then they took it more than just that. And I just jumped on it because I directly just love the idea. I love doing tastings. Well, yes, I do the private dinners and things, but it limits me to a certain extent because I don't try to. Sometimes a person will just want 3 courses. But personally, I want to give that person at least 7, 8.
Yes.
So with working with them, I can talk to them and say, hey, let's do 6 courses. Right? And with them trusting me and understanding, like I go into detail, how each course is going to be served, what time it's going to be served. Just working with them has been fantastic.
Wow.
And learning about a culture.
Yes, sir.
That I didn't truly understand. I never knew I grew up in the Gullah Geechee culture. And that's just because I wasn't necessarily taught Gullah Geechee. And like when I first started cooking, I tried to, I didn't want to be known by the chef that can cook, good fried chicken.
Yeah.
That was kind of thing. I want to make a nice, very detailed dinner. That's what I'm known by. But once I started learning about the Gullah Geechee culture, it's so much history.
Wow.
To it. And it's a lot of the dishes that I love to eat when I was growing up.
Yeah.
Is that culture, and I just dive deep into it, and it's been learning more and more ever since. And working with the Gullah Geechee Angel Network helped me learn even more. Just not just the food side of it.
Yes, sir.
Also about what it is to be Gullah Geechee, different parts of where Gullah Geechee is at, and how we relate to West African.
Yes.
That was one of the biggest things I'm learning, and I really love working with them so much.
And what Gullah cuisine is actually incorporated into your dining and cooking experiences now?
It's a lot of the seasonings.
Yes.
So it's the seasonings I try to incorporate into every dish now. And with understanding how to season, that's helped me a lot. Because also I try to cut down on salt.
Yes.
So none of my seasonings have salt in it. So basically all my seasonings is customized by me. I don't really use pre-made seasonings.
Okay.
But I try to sometimes. I don't try to make a whole dinner or every dinner a Gullah Geechee dinner.
Right.
But I always try to just throw that in.
Sure.
Either that's the seasoning going to be to the sauce or into the starch or to the veg. I try to throw it in just a little bit, just people to understand and be like, oh, this is something. It's good.
Yes.
And I try to explain it a lot to people about just the spices. even the spices, even down to the spices, is very much important.
Yes.
To a dish in general.
Wow. So, what more have you learned about the Gullah cuisine that you haven't learned before?
Oh man, it's a lot. So, for example, with like food-wise, red rice.
Yes.
I never really understood West African cuisine, and that's just because it's not really taught that. I was actually trained in French and Italian. That was my mindset for a long time. Yeah. But with red rice, they have this thing called jollof rice. Very similar. We just add, usually, you get like a sausage inside your red rice. You just really much add meat to it. And it's really good. I had both. It's fantastic. And then just, I was learning the connections of West African culture, how it ties into the Gullah Geechee culture. Yes. And some of the things that you see around in Charleston is like we are separated but still together. They do a little bit things differently, and that's what I really love about it, is that we still develop our own thing, but we still try to stay true to the roots. Yes. And that's just fantastic. Yes, absolutely. To understand. Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Well, Private Chef Reggie Miller, thank you so much for your time. And again, welcome to Quintin's Close-Ups. Thank you for having me. Oh, you're welcome.